They promised me it won't take too long.
Yeah, right.
This whole thing is ridiculous.
Ruth, we don't know that.
And what's that supposed to mean?
Here we go.
Can't we just get this over and done with?
Joe, this is not an exam.
I hate the police. They try and twist your word.
Just stick to the truth and don't elaborate.
Yeah, and try and consider someone else's feelings.
OK, now that is enough. I know it's not going to be easy for any of us, but the police have asked for our full cooperation, and it's very likely that they'll want to talk to us more than once throughout the morning. Meanwhile, we have patience, don't we? And with any luck, it won't be too long before this whole mess is sorted out.
Present are D.S. Bailey, D.C. Henshaw, and Dr. Rana Mystery. Dr. Mystery, we have asked you to come in today to answer allegations by Miss Cole. You have not been charged, and you are free to go at any time.
You know this is utterly ridiculous.
For the tape, please, Doctor.
Yes, I understand.
Thank you.
I'm only here on the advice of my solicitor, so don't expect me to take any of these allegations seriously.
Where is your solicitor, by the way?
I don't consider I need one.
As you wish. You understand you've been accused of a sexual assault by one of your patients.
This is a waste of my time and yours.
Let me be the judge of that. Now, when did you first meet Melanie Cole?
I don't remember her that well.
But you do remember her, Dr. Rawlings.
Yeah. She was attractive.
I'd like to make an appointment to see a doctor, please.
Well, you've come to the right place. Are you registered here?
No, I've just moved to the area.
Okay, what's your address?
It's flat.
And did Dr. Mystery find her attractive as well?
Yeah. It was nothing serious.
Edgbaston.
Very tasty.
So Dr. Mystery offered to see Miss Cole?
He had a spare appointment, yes.
Tell me, do you and Dr. Mystery often ogle prospective patients?
Okay, so she was attractive. But it's irrelevant. It didn't affect the way I treated her as a patient.
Didn't it?
Are you going to ask me every question twice?
So you saw Miss Cole later that morning?
Yes. And I gave her the routine health check that we offer to all new patients. She told me about her asthma. And we discussed her current treatment. Perhaps we ought to try you on a new medication for a few weeks. See if that gives you some more relief.
My last GP never asked any of these questions.
Unfortunately, some doctors get stuck in their ways.
Lucky I got you then.
Right, well, let's see how we get on. I'll need to see you weekly to monitor your response to the medication.
I look forward to it.
She was flirting with me. Didn't mean anything. Not as far as I was concerned.
Thank you.
See you next week, then.
Bye.
And that's all?
Yep.
Miss Cole has given us a very different account of that first consultation.
Perhaps we ought to try a new medication for a few weeks. See if that gives you more relief.
My last GP never asked any of these questions.
Well, unfortunately, some GPs get stuck in their ways.
Lucky I got
She
you then.
describes, and I quote, "When my coat slipped off the back of the chair, Dr. Mystery seemed eager to pick it up.
I look forward.
Although I didn't need him to, he helped me on with it, squeezing my shoulders. I could feel his breath on my cheek. He was so close."
See you next week, then. That's a complete lie.
I felt surprised that even though he was my new doctor, he thought it was okay to come on so strong. And to be honest, I was looking forward to our next meeting.
She's lying.
Do you make a habit of flirting with your patients?
I beg your pardon.
Well, this isn't the first time, is it?
And what the hell's that supposed to mean?
I suppose he could be seen as a ladies' man, but there's nothing wrong with that, is there? As long as he's sensible. The important thing is that he doesn't let it interfere with his work.
Never.
Well, there was one occasion, but it was nothing.
With a patient?
To be honest, I don't remember it very well.
Dr. Maguire. I'm trying to get an impression of Dr. Mystery's behaviour towards his patients. If you know of a similar situation, then it is relevant to this investigation.
There was a female patient. Very attractive.
Tell you one thing, though. She can kiss for England.
Just because she was on your list.
What are you two on about?
Nothing.
You think it's a good idea? Lunch dates with the patients?
Sorry?
Messing around like that is just not the done thing.
So, did you take any disciplinary action?
No, it wasn't necessary. I dealt with it informally. I really can't see how this is relevant.
As I've explained, if Dr. Mystery had crossed the line before, how can we be certain that he wouldn't do it again? What do you know about Dr. Mystery's private life?
Very little.
Don't tell me you never heard things.
I try not to get involved in my colleagues' personal business.
You've never heard him boasting about his latest conquest?
Well, he does seem to have a lot of girlfriends, but that's his own affair.
And do you approve?
Look, is this going to go on? I've got patients waiting.
So you would be surprised if Dr. Mystery had an affair with a patient?
Yes.
It would be impossible, whatever the circumstances.
Well, obviously it wouldn't be impossible, but that's not what you're asking. Having a relationship with a patient is very different from suggesting he might attack one.
Tell me, do you like Dr. Mystery? Would you consider him a friend of yours?
He's a colleague. I wouldn't consider him a friend, no.
Do you think he's capable of a sexual assault?
We get this all the time. Obsessive patients targeting doctors. It's because we listen, show an interest, give them attention. It's an authority figure thing. Hazard of the job.
I see.
Look, there is no substance at all to this accusation. I know Dr. Mystery, he's a good friend of mine, and there's no way he'd do anything like this. I mean, why would he feel the need to force himself onto anyone? It's ridiculous. This woman is obviously suffering from some obsessive disorder, and when he failed to reciprocate, she wanted to punish him. Have you had her examined by a forensic psychiatrist?
Not as yet.
Well, then I think you should. Before you let this whole thing trash Rana's career. He's a damn good doctor.
And a very close friend.
Yes, I've told you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Powers. That's all.
What? Is that it?
Could you tell me about Anushka Flynn?
Sorry?
One of your former members of staff. A practice nurse, I understand. I've been told she had a relationship with Dr. Mystery.
Well, hardly a relationship. As far as I can remember, it was just a drunken one-night stand, which they both felt very embarrassed about afterwards.
There was no indication that he forced himself on Miss Flynn?
No, there was not. Listen, I'm sure that Dr. Mystery will never do anything like that again.
Like what again? Sleep with a member of staff? Or have a one-night stand?
What if he gets arrested? And if the press get hold of this? Is that all you can think about?
No, but she's got a point. Bad publicity will reflect on all of us.
No, we wouldn't want that, would we? It's only Rana's career on the line.
Now, that is enough. We are all concerned about Rana, but we also need to safeguard the integrity of the practice. It's bad enough Bailey finding out about Sandy Hansen.
And Anushka.
Well, how did that happen?
I told him, look, I am not going to lie for Rana, OK?
No, you're just going to help Bailey build up a case against him.
Say, Caroline, keep your voice down.
You shouldn't have told him. It's not even relevant.
Isn't it? Surely the police have to investigate Rana's previous relationships to establish how he treats women.
Oh, so what have you told them?
Nothing. I don't know any of Rana's girlfriends.
No, but I bet you offered up your opinion anyway.
Look, let's not get into a slanging match, eh?
You should keep your opinions to yourself. You never even met Melanie Cole.
Neither did you, Caroline. And we are not going to help Rana behaving like this, are we?
There it is. Tuesday the 25th, Miss Cole came in for a blood test. Dr. Mystery wanted to review her asthma treatment.
Dr. Mystery's going to try me on something new.
Oh, good. Put your finger on that for me, would you?
He's nice, isn't he, Dr. Mystery?
He's certainly livened things up round here since he arrived. She was full of questions about Rana, wanted to know where he was from and so on. It was clear, obvious, that she was setting her sights on him.
So, has he got a girlfriend?
Dr. Mystery is a good-looking man. So you weren't surprised when Miss Cole found him attractive?
No, but that doesn't mean he felt the same way. Dr. Mystery never takes these things very seriously.
Well, perhaps he should have.
He's got more important things to consider. Look, he's one of the best doctors I've ever worked with, and that silly girl is telling lies.
I decided to try Miss Cole on a new medication for her asthma, which meant further visits to check on the effectiveness of the treatment.
How frequent were these visits?
Weekly.
Weekly? Was that really necessary?
Yes, I considered it was.
She came in every week. She always seemed quite happy. You know, excited.
Because she was going to see Dr. Mystery.
Suppose. Or maybe she's just an excitable kind of person.
Well, to be honest, I don't really remember any of her visits. Well, there was a time when she came out of Rana's room and they were both laughing, but that doesn't mean anything. Rana often jokes with his patients.
If you ask me, she was the one doing all the running.
So, you never saw Miss Cole socially?
No, I did not.
Kate, Mrs. Maguire and I popped out at lunchtime to do some shopping. We parked in the Blue Boar car park. They were coming out of the pub. Rana often goes there for lunch.
So do you think it was a date?
Well, it must have been.
No, that's not quite right. Helen was getting her bag out of the back seat. Rana came out of the pub on his own. Melanie Cole met him on the pavement. It looked like they just bumped into each other.
And how did they react to one another?
Well, they seemed friendly enough.
Could you hear what they were saying?
No, we were too far away.
You have no idea whether this was a chance encounter or a pre-arranged meeting?
No.
Had a quick pub lunch and bumped into her on the way out. She must have been stalking me.
Yeah, it happened to me once. Schoolgirl with a silly crush. Convinced herself she was in love with me.
And what happened with this schoolgirl?
Well, I had a talk with her. Put her straight. There was nothing to back up her story.
That's the difference in this case. We have the evidence.
There was one time after one of Miss Cole's appointments with Dr. Mystery.
Go on.
Well, when she came out, she was carrying a bunch of flowers.
Oh, those are lovely.
Yeah, I was really surprised.
So Dr. Mystery gave her the flowers?
Oh, I shouldn't really say anything. I'm in again next Thursday, yeah?
Yeah, that's not necessarily. She could have had them when she arrived. I just didn't notice.
Sounds like he gave them to her during the consultation. Did you ask him?
No, I was busy. Didn't seem important.
Do you really think I'm stupid enough to give a patient flowers while she's still in my office? Is this what you call evidence?
No, but this is. I'm showing Dr. Mystery a black and orange tie.
Where'd you get this?
Is it yours?
I don't get it.
Is it yours, Dr. Mystery?
It looks like one of mine, yes.
This was found in Miss Cole's flat on the evening of the alleged assault.
She must have nicked it. No. Wait a minute. I remember. I lost it at work. Ask Kate, she'll tell you.
Sorry, I don't remember him saying anything, and, there's nothing in the lost property book.
It's the black one, you know, with the orange squiggles.
Oh, yeah, I like that one. Yeah, hello, can I speak to Mr. Duffy, please?
Kate, this is serious.
Rana, I'm on the phone.
Joe, you haven't seen it, have you?
No, sorry.
Mrs. Maguire tells me that she records any lost property.
Yeah, in the book. But that's for the patients. Staff don't use it.
Mrs. Maguire seems to think they do.
Well, I don't know. I never have. What's it so important for, anyway?
It's a critical piece of evidence. Let's move on to the day of the alleged assault. You were on home visits that day. Is that right?
Yes.
And was Miss Cole on your list of calls?
Well, yes.
Because according to your receptionist log, there was no call from Miss Cole that day.
Well, it was an emergency and Miss Cole claimed she was having an asthma attack.
But there was still no call logged at the surgery. How do you explain that?
She called me on my mobile.
Really? And you make a habit of giving your mobile phone number to patients?
I don't know how she got it, but she did, and she was panicking, so I went straight over.
But you didn't give her your number?
No.
How did she get it? I mean, Joe never gives out personal numbers.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
What do you mean?
Or maybe he gave her the number himself.
I don't think they were seeing each other.
I don't know. I hope not.
I should tell you that we have 2 witnesses who have made statements regarding your movements on the evening in question.
I'm not disputing that I was there.
Mrs. Ashworth, who lives in the downstairs flat, saw you arrive at Miss Cole's at 6 o'clock precisely. She remembers the time because she was just sitting down to watch the news.
Fine, she's probably right.
The second witness, Mr. Lehman, was admiring your car. He says he saw you leave the flat at 7 o'clock.
There's no way it was an hour. It was 5 minutes max.
He said you looked furious. You drove off like a maniac.
That's just crap.
But this witness has no reason to lie.
And he's got the times wrong. I've told you it was 5 minutes.
Mr. Lehman's statement correlates with what Miss Cole is telling us.
She's a nutcase, so why believe her?
Is that a medical opinion, Dr. Mystery?
How many times have I got to tell you she's a deeply disturbed woman, okay?
Sit down.
And you're taking her seriously? She's got some crazy vendetta going and you're falling for it!
Sit down!
This is my career we're talking about. And I'm not going to be beaten down by you and some cheap little witch. I tell you, whatever happened to her, she deserved it.
But how can you be so sure?
Because I am. I know him. And it sickens me that you think he could have done this.
Oh, come on, Caroline. He's not a saint. He's had a relationship with a patient before.
Oh, since when was a lunch date a relationship?
If Mac hadn't have found out, who knows how far it would have gone. All I'm saying is it's not impossible that he was involved with this woman.
Yes, but the police think he attacked her. You believe it, don't you? You actually think he assaulted her?
I think it's possible. Say he was involved with Melanie Cole. What if they had an argument and it got out of hand? Maybe she lost her temper and he was defending himself. Or maybe he got angry at her. Or maybe it was something else.
Such as?
Sex. Maybe she likes it rough and he got carried away.
Oh, this is pure speculation. You have no basis for this. I know him. He hasn't got it in him.
Really? How well do any of us here know each other? So you're his friend. Do you discuss his sex life?
No, of course not.
Then how do you know? Given the right circumstances, Caroline, we're all capable of violence.
Would you like to take a break, Dr. Mystery?
No, I wouldn't. I just want to get this done.
Well, we'll be here for some time yet. Let's take 5 minutes. Can I get you a drink?
No. Thanks.
Interview suspended at 13:30.
You had no choice, Matt.
I know. Talk about kicking a man when he's down.
You'll understand.
What must he be going through, eh?
Have we heard anything?
Caroline's gone down to the station to see what she can find out.
It's outrageous. They have no evidence, have they?
It sounds like they have, according to Joe.
Service in this place is appalling. Tea's not much better.
How are you feeling?
How did you get in here?
The custody sergeant owes me a favour. You shouldn't be in here either. Bailey's just tried to scare you.
Well, he's doing a damn good job.
I've just been talking to my contacts in CID.
Oh, so you've heard about all the evidence they've got then? Apparently my fingerprints are all over her bedroom, and they found samples of skin and hair.
Yeah, but they can't prove anything unless you agree to a forensic examination.
Maybe you could do it. Falsify the evidence.
That's not funny, Rana. I've seen the injury report. That girl was very badly hurt.
Not by me, she wasn't. Could she have done it herself? She's crazy enough.
I'm sorry. I think it's very unlikely.
Great.
There's something else. Max had to suspend you.
What?
It's an ethical thing. You know he doesn't have a choice.
Just as long as I know who my friends are, eh? But then I've got a lot to thank you lot at Riverside for, from the juicy details Bailey's been throwing at me. You lot have completely stitched me up.
Oh, come on, Rana.
No, you come on. What about Sandy Hansen, Anushka, me and that tart outside some pub? And then there's some garbage about a missing tie and a bunch of flowers. And there's the old dear, the eyewitness, and Mr. Lehman, the car buff. Feels like a bloody conspiracy. Just get me out of here, eh?
I will. I promise.
I got the call from Miss Cole while I was on my rounds. She said she was having an asthma attack. Hello? Anyone at home? Miss Cole? It's Dr. Mystery.
I'm through here. Thanks for coming.
Is everything all right?
The minute I put the phone down, my breathing got easier. I thought I was having an attack, but...
Oh, well, I'm here now. Might as well just check you over, just in case.
To be honest, there's nothing wrong with me. I just wanted to surprise you.
What?
I mean, you do fancy me, don't you?
I'm sorry, I think that this is a bad idea.
I won't tell a soul.
I was only in there for 5 minutes. Believe me, when I left, there was nothing wrong with Miss Cole.
And did anyone see you outside as you left?
No.
I can't believe it's gone this far.
He hasn't been arrested yet.
Yeah, well, Caroline will sort it out, won't she?
She's a police surgeon, Joe, not a chief inspector.
I still can't understand why he went to Melanie Cole's flat in the first place. I mean, she wasn't down on his list of visits, was she?
Maybe they were having an affair.
How else would you know that Rana was on call, not Steve or Helen?
Hang on.
What is it?
Well, there was a phone call. It was from a mobile. It was very clear, but she was definitely asking if Dr. Mystery was on call that day.
When was it?
On the morning, you know, on the day of the crime.
Oh, did she give a name?
Just a sec. I did start to write it down, but I didn't get very far because the line went dead. Just a mo. Yeah, Mrs. Lehman.
All right, L-E-E... Lehman. No, there's nothing here.
Try L-E-A, huh?
Do you think it's Melanie Cole checking she'll get Rana?
Well, possibly. Whether it counts as evidence.
No, nothing here. Maybe it is a bogus call.
Or the line was bad, or Joe didn't get it right.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Mrs. Lehman.
Did someone say Lehman?
Your solicitor's arrived. He's just signing in.
That's the name of the guy who saw Rana leave the flat, Lehman. It's too much of a coincidence.
But the Lehman Joe spoke to was a woman.
Well, I'm not sure what all this means.
Well, they knew each other. It was obviously Melanie Cole that phoned, and she just used the first name that she could think of.
Hello, could I speak to DS Bailey, please? It's urgent.
Thanks. For everything.
It's not me you want to thank, it's Jo. She's the one who remembered the phone call.
Tell her I owe her.
Tell her yourself. They're all really worried about you.
No, I need a bit of time on my own.
Sure. It was a stitch-up from the start, and they tried it before. Melanie Cole and their Lehman character, they targeted Rana. If they could make it look like he attacked her, they could claim thousands of pounds in damages. So she stole his tie and somehow found out his mobile number and where he went for lunch.
But what about the flowers?
I don't know. Maybe she hid them in a bag. But the point is, she wanted to give the impression they were having an affair. She was trying to seduce him, and he wouldn't play the game. But that didn't matter. As long as she could get him to a flat, they could put the plan into action. After Rana left, Lehman came in round the back. Rana's fingerprints were already in the bedroom, and she'd made sure she'd pulled out some strands of his hair. The only thing left was to fake the assault itself. The boyfriend obliged. Lehman left the way he came in. Melanie waited an hour, then she went downstairs to the neighbours, Mrs. Ashworth, who called the police.
Sounds like one hell of an elaborate plan.
Yeah, I've read about cases like this. Victims sue for damages, emotional and physical distress. They can get thousands.
It nearly worked, didn't it? Gave us all the chance to sit in judgment.
How is he?
I better go and see him.
No, I'd wait until the morning.
Oh, it's time for evening surgery.
Hello, sorry to be late. Come here. Excellent. Do you want to take a seat for me? It won't be too long.